Hey guys, welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. With me is Amy Clattenburg, okay, from Plant Masters
Interiorscapes.
Interiorscapes. And that's a tough one for me to remember, but I get the meaning, okay? So obviously from my intro, you know that she probably deals with plants, just saying.
Yes.
So tell me about your company.
Our company is unique in that we service plants for people's homes and offices. We also do car dealerships. We have restaurants, and
So let's. I have an office,
okay,
okay, and I want to kind of. I know plants are so good, and because of the air quality and stuff,
right.
and the beauty. So I say, hey, I want to have some plants in here. Do you come and look and tell me what kind of plants to put in?
Oh, sure.
And get, or do I? I mean, I get a choice, I'm sure.
Yes, you have a choice, but what works best is the lighting. If we have to look at that first. If
Okay.
you have a dark room, we have some plants that may adjust, but we mostly have to suggest to you a certain type of plant. An aglaonema or a dracaena works better in the low light.
Interesting. And I, so now you come in and you design this interior for me, because that's basically what you do.
Right.
Now, I sign a contract with you. What do you guys do with that contract?
Well, we do a couple things. We take care of your plants. We come in usually on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
We come in and we water if needed. We prune the plants, fertilize them, and just assess them and see how they look. If they start declining, then we'll bring you another plant at no charge, as long as you have a contract with us.
Okay, so my question to you becomes, the rest of the week we're watering and making sure that everything is taken care of.
No, you don't water, just us.
Once a week is enough?
Yes.
Okay, see, could be the reason I kill plants, okay, because I probably overwatered them, okay. I was talking to you in the green room when we were talking about my garden, okay,
Right.
and I had like tomatoes and two kinds of peppers and basil and thyme, and I started it in the hottest time, but they were in my lanai and it was screened in, so they're probably getting enough light, but I didn't think they were getting enough water enough. Well, I put them outside. Probably the worst thing I could have done. I think they had too much light, too much heat, and maybe too
Yes.
much water because it rained like crazy.
Right. It probably rotted.
But my basil plant sounds like this big, guys. It's like this, and it smells beautiful. So a lot of plants have a smell, okay,
Right.
which would make your office smell that much nicer. Besides, look that much nicer. Now, how do you decide? I mean, we already decided that the lighting is going to be one of the factors. What other factors do you take into consideration?
Well, the main thing that you have to consider is when you have an indoor room, you can't have a flowering plant in there because you need sunlight for that.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
And a lot of the flowers are the plants that have the fragrance.
Oh, okay.
So mostly indoors you're going to have just foliage, green plants. If you like the look of flowers, we do orchids. We do a lot of orchid arrangements. I do.
Do they survive indoors?
Yes.
Not
Yes,
with
they
me. Okay. And probably not with most of you guys. And that's why Amy's here, because like I always say, if you're going to do something that's out of your wheelhouse, use a professional. That's always been my thing. You know, and I talk about I can change my own oil, but I don't because it's silly for me. Obviously, I can't grow my own plants or take care of them because I kill them, and it's terrible. Okay, so who's your clientele?
Well, that's a good question. We have a large clientele. We have celebrities.
Okay.
We have very prominent business people in South Florida. I can't give any names
No,
out.
I don't want you to give names.
But we mostly do, we have half and half. We have half commercial accounts and half residential accounts. We'll have customers on the ocean and these big mansions, and we have people that live in little condominiums that love their plants too. And so we just, it's a wide range of
So,
people.
so let's break that up into two parts. So the commercial accounts could be anything from an office like mine
Correct.
to a indoor office building that has common area space.
Yes.
Okay, because I know I've been in these buildings and the center has, a pond basically, a waterfall, and plants all through the whole thing.
Right.
Do you prefer doing commercial? No, not financially, but do you prefer doing commercial accounts or do you prefer doing residential accounts? It's a tough call.
It is. I love the relationships that we have with our residential customers because we get to know them. They live in their homes and we come in and we take care of their plants. We get to know them. We not only service the plants, but we service our customers too.
That's an interesting thing because I have a caregiver because I take care of my mom and she comes in every day and I leave her in my house and she's part of the family. Okay, people who come into your house for any periods of time in a regular basis, whether it be a cleaning person, they really become like part of your family.
They do.
Okay?
They do.
So, and people who live in the bigger homes and stuff are, not only in the bigger, in every home, they want their home to look nice. So if they're going to call somebody to put in plants and stuff, they want those plants to stay fresh, healthy, and whatever. And I can tell you now, I don't really have the time to do it. As probably most of the people.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Okay, it's a job.
It is. It's time consuming.
Right, depending on how many plants. All right, so let's take the residential house. I know that this is going to 2,000 square feet, which most people think is big, but these mansions are much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's basically a 2,000 square foot home. Okay, how many plants go in a home?
Well, usually about, I'd say like 8 to 10 in that size.
Okay.
I want to have a few groupings and maybe in a few rooms that strategic spots.
Plants have a tendency of growing.
Yes.
Do they ever grow? Do they ever grow out of that location?
Oh yes.
Okay.
That will happen. A lot of our palm trees are slow growing, like the
Okay.
rafus tree and the kentia. They're slow growers, but there are some plants that we have to change out. They start hitting the ceiling. They get so tall.
What's besides the aesthetic look? What's the other benefits of having plants in a home?
Well, plants they clean the air.
Right.
They take the carbon dioxide from the air and they make it into oxygen.
Right.
And they're pleasing to look at. They clean the air and it's always fun to look at the plants.
Yeah, I mean, it adds, right, it adds to the home.
It does.
It adds to an empty corner or an empty wall or whatever. My next question is, and I don't want a number, but how do you price? Do you price by the number of plants? Do you price by the size of the house? Do you price by how many times you got to go there? How is it priced out?
It all goes into the equation.
Okay.
The type of plant, some plants are more expensive than others.
Okay.
The time that it takes to care for the plants in the establishment.
Some take more care than others?
Yes, some do.
Okay.
Some require pruning more than others. That's mostly just the time and the type of plant it is and how long we're there for.
Okay, so now you come in and you set everything up.
Right.
That's the initial most time, okay? And
Yes.
probably the front end of the cost because you're first buying the plants and stuff, okay? Then you come once a week,
Yes, usually we do.
okay? Do you have any plants and any people that need more than once a week?
No, not usually, but if we do require more water for some of the plants, we'll ask the customer if it starts looking like it needs more water, they can add a little bit. Spathiphyllums are one of those plants that likes extra water. But usually it's just once a week that we go.
Okay, so we're talking in the green room, and basically every day your staff meets at your facility,
Correct.
take whatever they need, and they're off.
Yes.
Okay. Do they, I know it's a silly question, but do they bring their own water?
That is a good question because there's not enough room in our cars for it. But sometimes we'll bring a water machine. It's a big contraption on wheels, and we fill it up when we get to a place where we need water, like
Right.
these big country clubs. sometimes
So
we'll
you can
take a
wheel that
lot
around.
of water.
Yeah.
So we'll wheel around the water tank.
And I'm thinking in someone's house, maybe they don't want you to go into the kitchen, maybe they don't want around
Right.
the house.
We
So
go to the laundry room.
right, right. So you have to utilize those places.
Right.
I mean, so you guys go in the cars. What do you actually take with you that you guys might need?
Oh, we take a lot of things. Our
Okay.
cars are just
Loaded.
stocked with all our supplies. We have an apron we wear, and we have our clippers and our scissors. We have trash bags and rags. We have fertilizers and.
How often does a plant get fertilized?
Usually, indoors we don't fertilize a lot because plants don't grow a lot indoors.
Mhm.
Mostly the ones by the window will need, every 3 months we'll need a little fertilizer.
Interesting.
Outdoor plants mostly.
Why did you get into this?
Well, my husband is a landscape architect,
Oh, okay.
and I always loved plants. I always wanted to work somewhere, and so I helped put him through school, and then when he got a job, I decided I wanted to work alongside with him. So we worked together for a couple of years, and then we decided to take the interior department with us, and we formed a new company.
Okay, so is he doing the company too?
Yes,
So
it's a
he
family
left-
business.
Okay, so he left
Yes.
his job and made a
Yes.
family business. That's so
Yes.
cool. You know, I started this with my wife, and when she passed away and I got remarried, my wife stayed with me and we kept it going. And then it got to a point where she was like, "Yeah, I don't want this anymore." So she went out. My wife's a chocolatier, so she makes chocolate, high-end chocolate.
Oh, okay.
She went out to do her own thing, and my friend had started a company, and he was in his house, and he needed marketing, so he came to us, and then she ended up helping him out and working for him and doing her chocolate. So she's like 2 years ago, if I saw her for 10 minutes a day, it was a lot. Considering that every day we used to go out together and work, so
Right.
that was like really unbelievable. My next question is, do you work with nurseries so that you're getting the plants that you need and want, and they know
Yes.
you and you have...
Oh yes,
A
we go
rapport?
to a lot of nurseries, mostly in Homestead area,
Wow.
some in Loxahatchee,
Uh-huh.
because like I said, we don't grow our own plants.
Right.
So we do work with the nurseries, and we go like once or twice a week, go down to Homestead and get our big van loaded up with plants, and then bring it back
To your facility
to
where
our
you
facility.
keep them.
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite plant?
My favorite plant is an orchid.
Okay, because and I'm just going to guess because of what you do, it's mainly green, and now orchids have some color and whatever.
Yes.
Now, what you said in agreement was kind of interesting to me, that you said that orchids live. And
Yes, they
I
last.
can't get them to live, so what the heck am I doing wrong?
Well, when you bring an orchid into your home, some people can tend to overwater them.
Really?
Yes, and they don't like to sit in water. So you take your orchid out of the pot that it's in, run the water through it, and let it drain completely before putting it back into its decorative pot. And a lot of people use ice cubes, but would you like an ice cube on your arm until it melted?
Well, I do a lot of cooking. There's a lot of times I want ice cubes on my burn. So, okay.
Yeah.
But, so I get it. So you go in, okay, so here's my thing. I go into a store like Publix or Windex, and they have
Sure.
orchids. Are they as hardy as you would get from a nursery?
It depends on their care. You
Okay.
can look at an orchid and see if the leaves look good and springy and they're nice and firm. That's a healthy orchid. And if the flowers are all opening up, all the buds are opening, that's a sign of a good orchid. But sometimes the people that work in these stores don't know how to
Right.
care for them.
Obviously, they're employees.
Yes, and that's
who
when they
are
start
not-
declining.
Right.
Yes.
Are orchids hardy plants? Because, I mean, I didn't think
Pretty
flowers-
much they are. I mean, they really are.
Now I'm feeling better about myself.
Once the flowers all drop and there's no flowers left and there's the stem, you just take it outside and you can hang it in the tree, tie it up to the tree. They love to be outside in our humidity,
Did they?
and they do very well.
So, if I were to get an orchid, the easiest way to keep it alive and safe would be in my lanai, where it's screened so it gets the humidity
Yes,
and the light.
indirect sunlight. Like you wouldn't want to put it out in the blazing hot sun.
Interesting.
it'll burn.
So we were in the store the other day, and my wife said, "Look how beautiful! We should get one." And I'm going, "All right, that's X amount of dollars that is going to go to waste because I won't be able to keep it alive." So now I'm going to go buy one, and take your information and
Good.
see how well it does.
Great.
How do people contact you? You have a website?
Yes, we have a website, plantmastersflorida.com.
Okay, and a phone number?
And my number is 561
Uh-huh.
951 9576.
Okay. And you guys can reach them, find out. I guess, let me ask you a quick question because we're at the top of our time anyway. So I call you. Okay. What do you, I have, and I say to you, look, I have an office and I want it done. What's the next step? Do you come and look at the office?
Yes.
And then make a decision?
Yes, we
on
come
how to
and
lay
look.
everything else?
Yes.
Okay. I was kind of curious. See, it's every office or every business or every residential is kind of like a snowflake.
Right, they're all
Okay,
different.
it's all different.
Yes, because some of our accounts have outdoor gardens, and we do detailed gardening,
Okay.
and we'll come in and weed and
Gotta get that money back from your
trim
husband's
and-
school, huh?
yeah, that's right.
Gotta put him to work, okay?
Yes.
Now, you went to all school. You better do something here.
Yes, and we also do light landscaping. We have a crew that goes out and they'll plant small shrubs and small trees.
Cool.
Nothing large, but and then annuals like impatiens and
Yeah,
different
okay.
flowers.
It doesn't matter because I'll kill it anyway. Okay.
That's
So
why
just-
you need us.
Yeah, right. But honestly, I can tell you now that probably 90% of the people that watch say the same thing as I do. Okay. Oh my
Sure.
God, I bought a plant and it died. Everybody says that because we're not experts in how to take care of our plants. Thank God we can keep our pets alive. Okay? I mean, just saying. One of the issues I have is that my cat loves to chew on plants.
Oh yes.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that became an issue for us. We had a couple of little plants, and she decided that you don't deserve to have plants, so I'm going to chew it until it's dead. Okay? So with that, you want to get in touch with Amy. The name of the company is Plant Masters
Interiorscapes.
And you can find them on the internet, I'm sure. Google them, check them out. And if you have any questions, feel free to call. Okay? She'll be more than happy to answer some of your questions to know what direction you're going to go. Because, like, she came in today and there's so much I didn't know, but I'm blessed that you came and I got to ask. And you're kind of blessed because you got to hear that she knows what she's talking about and probably can help you keep your plants and stuff alive. With that, everybody, have a great day. I want to thank you for coming on,
Thank you very much.
and we'll be
Wayne.
right back.